Hi, friends. Welcome to Lotus in the Light. My name is Jennifer. Thank you for joining. Um, hmm, where do I want to start today? I think I want to start by acknowledging, it's been almost a year now that I've been doing these videos. Um, I think about 11 months. Um, and what I've learned over the last year, what has kind of unfolded for me is that these videos have to be for me. Whenever I start making a video, and when I started these videos, they were outwardly focused. And I think that that's fine. That was good. That was where I needed to start based on my understandings and my beliefs at the time. I felt like I was called to provide these messages that would help others. What has been revealed to me over the last year is that spirit comes through the loudest, the clearest when my focus is inward, not outward. So what I've really started to do, and I think I was doing it for a while unknowingly, maybe unintentionally, and then where I was focusing a little bit more inward than outward. And then when I would start thinking about what video should I make next, what video will help people, like I would have these moments of inspiration where it was like, oh, I could sense that spirit was giving me the next topic to talk about in a video, but then I wasn't feeling inspired to record. And I'm like, why do I feel like I'm getting the ideas, but not getting the inspiration to record? And I very much tried to hold true to only recording when I felt inspired to record, because my past 49 years, I have lived as a type A personality where I was constantly doing, constantly focused on being productive and making sure that every minute of my life counted, right? In whatever way I believed that meant. So the idea that I would be inspired about a topic and then not inspired to record about the topic was like, what's going on there? Why is this happening? This is not working for me. Then what I came to realize was that it was because I was focusing outward. I was focusing on trying to record a message to help others. When in fact, if you actually listen to my messages all along, I've been saying that we find our purpose, we find our peace, we find our joy, we find true love and freedom when we focus inward. And so I started realizing and recognizing that that belief system that I was holding was not showing up outwardly in my videos anymore, because my videos were outwardly focused, right? And so your reality has to mirror what's going on the inside. So if it doesn't align, it falls away. So I think I was now in hindsight, I can look back and say I was obviously at a crossroads where it was like these videos can only continue if I make them more inward focused. And so the last few months has been a little bit of that tug of war, because I still will occasionally, well, I talk to you as though I'm talking to others, but I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at myself on the screen right now. So I'm really talking to me. And what this means is that Lotus in the Light has really just morphed into more of a video journal where I'm verbally processing the things that are happening in my life, the things that I'm doing. And that verbal processing is allowing the energy to flow, allowing the energy to move through. Talking is one way that energy moves, as well as dancing, as well as exercising or running or just doing this, right? That moves the energy too. Crying moves energy, laughing moves energy. Many ways the energy can move and flow through our body. Talking is one of them. And so that's why talk therapy is such a great thing, because you're moving the energy and the emotions and allowing those to flow through and not get stuck within. So anyway, I've discovered that like these videos have become more of a verbal processing for me in the form of a video diary or journal. And the reason that I'm posting them is because I have an understanding, a universal understanding, that the way the world works is that you're not the only one with your energetic frequency. There's always going to be a match out there, meaning whatever I'm creating, there's somebody out there that's yearning for it, that will benefit from it, that will grow from it. Similarly, whatever you're creating, and it might not be videos, it might be um, writing, it might be painting, it might be creating experiences. Like I love to plan vacations for my family. I always really thoroughly enjoyed that, creating experiences like that. If you're doing whatever you're creating, maybe you're creating a family, whatever you're doing, there's a match for you out there that can benefit from what you're doing. So it's, being out there with it doesn't mean it has to be for them. It could still be for you, but just recognizing that someone else is also going to benefit from it. And so that's really what these videos have ultimately become. So I wanted to share that first because I feel like I've been kind of dancing around that idea, but I've not really formally laid it out there and put the words to it because I think it's been formalizing within me. And now that it's formalized and materialized fully within me, and I'm now embodying it more fully and I understand it more fully, I can articulate it more fully verbally. So this is my verbal processing of that, right? So love that. Some things that have been happening for me lately that have been really exciting and I'm excited to share about today. I have noticed in the last few weeks that when I meditate, so typically when I meditate, I seek to, like my step one is to um, get into a frequency of joy or gratitude. And the way that I would do that historically, and I've only been meditating since I actually looked it up on my journal today because I was curious. Late October of 2024 is when I started meditating. October of 2024, and we're in late June of 26. So not even 2 years. What is that, a year and 9 months or something like that? That I've been meditating, and I've basically been meditating every day. I definitely meditate every day. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Sometimes more than once a day. So I always would start without trying to get into that higher frequency vibration. The highest vibration is love, joy, gratitude. Like that's the highest, right? So the way I would do that, wow. I don't know if you can hear the loud train coming through. I don't know if this is cutting that out, but it's really loud. Apologies. So I guarantee you there's a spiritual message in that. Um, and so we'll decipher that as we go through. Um, the meditation though, and the purpose of the meditation is what? To quiet that, right? Because that's what's going on is in our mind. Our mind's got a million things going on, and we think, I don't have time to slow down and do this meditation thing. But the truth is, meditating, going, quieting this so that this can speak is as critical to your life as water is to your body, as air is to your body. It's like the breath of your soul. The breath of your soul is that going within. So you do it whether you know you do it or not. And if you're not sitting down in a meditation session, that's fine. Your higher consciousness will still find a way to do it, whether it's through when you're sewing or knitting or jogging or painting or just putting your headphones on and vegging out and listening to music. Or there's these moments, if you pay attention, there's these moments in your day where you're bringing stillness to the mind, and you may not realize it and you may not be intentionally doing it, but you're doing it because it's critical to life. In fact, I would say you're in a place of death, spiritual death, if you're not allowing yourself those moments in your life, and you're creating unnecessary suffering by doing so, because there's great wisdom that comes in that time, even though you don't realize that that's what's happening. So anyway, I'm meditating every day, and I'm purposely trying to find that moment, that feeling of joy and gratitude. And the way that I would get there is first to think of something that brings me joy, or think of something that I'm grateful for, right? I would think of it. And then the idea is that should drum up a feeling here. And then the idea is kind of to hang on to that feeling, right? And within that feeling, you go into your meditative state. And then you're in that state at a higher frequency, and amazing things happen when you get there and when you find that. So I've been doing that for a while now. What started happening to me in the past couple of weeks, I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know this was going to happen. I have not read any books on how to properly meditate or anything like that. I've just been meditating with intention of healing, of releasing limiting beliefs. Like I always have these intentions when I go into my meditation sessions, and that's it. But I didn't know how the meditation would morph over time. And so over the last few weeks, what I started to realize is that when I go into my meditation time, I no longer have to think of something here that makes me feel grateful, or think of something that makes me feel joy. Those frequencies are becoming more of my everyday, all the time vibration, or maybe a little lower than that, as like my norm. And then when I get into my meditative space, I just feel it. I just know what it feels like now. And I just go right into the feeling without having to think of something. And I just realized, a couple of days ago, I'm like, wow, like I'm not having to try to feel that way anymore. It's just there. It just is. And the feeling, if I can put it into words, is it is the peace that passes understanding. I come from a Christian background, and that's a scripture, a text that is within our scriptures. And I never really, I've understood what it meant before through my faith journey. Like there have been times when I've just felt peace about something. I don't want to pretend like I never had an experience like that, but it never was an experience like this. This is like taking it to a whole nother level. My body almost feels almost weightless. It feels light. It feels easy. It feels flowy. It feels peaceful. It feels joyful. Like there's no sadness. There's no heaviness in it. Um, yeah, like if you, I don't know if you can tell by the way I'm talking, but like as I'm describing it, I'm feeling it. So it kind of slows my speech down. And it's like, that's what it feels like. Feels so good. And I just wish that for everybody. If people aren't experiencing that in their life, I just know that you can. From this type A left brain personality that used to be do, 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 do. For me, if I can do this, anybody can do this. And it's a life changer. In fact, it is a life changer. So let me tell you, I didn't really know where this video was going to go, but this just popped in my head. Um, so thank you, Spirit. That's what happens when you allow, when you surrender, when you stop trying to force and think, oh, what do I want to talk about today on this video? And just allow. And then that in that allowing, becoming, and that's another feeling that I get when I'm in that space is I start to feel empty. My body literally feels empty. And I know that I'm becoming an empty vessel that is allowing myself to be filled with whatever spirit or divine source or God or my higher consciousness wants to fill me with. Whatever they want to fill me with, I'm able to be filled because I've emptied myself of everything else. And the way you can't get there when you're caught up in these thoughts. So, what that just reminded me of is a few days ago, I had a doctor's appointment and they took my blood pressure, and I was thoroughly impressed. So, I just want to give a little backstory to this. 2 Septembers ago, so almost 2 years ago, um, I went to the doctor. I was 49. I had just turned 49. And for the first time in my life, my blood pressure was elevated. And I think it was like I don't know, 150 or something, maybe the high 140s over 94 or 93 or something like that. And I remember her saying it was the lower number, the bottom number that she was concerned about. And she wanted to go ahead and put me on medication. My weight was the highest it had ever been. I had none of the beliefs that I have now, none of them. Like it was actually happening at the very start of this journey that I'm on now. So, but what I did know is I did not want to start taking medication. I didn't feel like medication was necessary. I will say I don't have that same belief now. My beliefs about medicine are different, but I'm just painting the picture of where I was then. I was like, nope, that's going to be the catalyst to motivate me to start getting healthy again. So I said, no, no, thank you. I'm not going to take medicine. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to start eating right and doing all the things, right? So I left. I did none of the things I said I was going to do. Occasionally I'd eat a little better or whatever. But what I did do 2 months later is I started meditating. And I started this journey of emotional healing, this journey of like opening myself up and allowing myself to feel. Again, a lot of the emotional healing that has happened to me over the last 18 months, I couldn't even tell you what it was, what the triggers were, what the experiences were. I'm not even sure they were all mine. I think some of them could have been ancestral. Sometimes I didn't even know. Sometimes I would just have the feeling of sadness, of fear, of whatever. I would acknowledge it. I would let it rise. I would feel it. I would cry if I needed to, or I would, whatever I needed to do. And then I would let it pass. And I would say, okay, this is what I feel. It's time to move on. Right. And I just did. I've been doing that for the last basically 18 months and almost 2 years. And in that process, when I went back last September for my annual physical, I think my weight was down a little bit, but not through any effort. And it was only a few pounds. Still, I was still at a weight that was higher, the highest weight I've been in my entire life, other than maybe that last year, because if I came down a couple pounds. Um, but my blood pressure had come down enough that she's like, okay, your blood pressure's better. We don't need to put you on medicine. And I think at that point it was like, it might have even still been 140 on the higher number, but the lower number was like 88 or something like that. She's like, okay, yeah, it's getting better. I'm like, yeah, the only thing I've changed is the meditation and my beliefs. I was starting to shed belief systems that were no longer serving me. And then here, not quite another year later, so now it's June, I go to the doctor for my annual girly doctor, right? They take my blood pressure. And she said, 122 over 80. Right back to normal, which is where I was my whole life. But even when I was pregnant, I never had high blood pressure. So yeah, right back to normal. And guess what, folks? I don't even think I've lost any weight. I mean, I still am at basically my heaviest. I haven't done any kind of diets. I haven't done any kind of exercise regimens. You know this if you watch my videos. I listen to my body. If my body needs to move, and it feels motivated for a walk or motivated to do some yoga, or if I did feel motivated to run or to go to the gym or whatever, like I'll do whatever I'm motivated to do. It's never running, by the way. And it's never go to I don't even have a gym membership anymore. But like there are times when it's like, oh, I feel like I really need to move. So I'll dance or I'll do some jumping jacks or whatever. And there are times when it's like, oh, I just feel like I need to get some oomph out, and I'll get down and do some girly push-ups. I used to be able to do the real ones, right? But now I do the knee push-ups. That was a very sexist statement, but you know what I'm talking about. They call them the girl push-ups on your knees. So yeah, I just listen to my body all the time and do what my body feels like it needs to do. If it's hungry, I eat. If it's tired, I sleep. And so trusting my body, this body served me so well, and it knows exactly what I need and it knows exactly how it needs to be supported. And if we stop resisting that and just listen, we become our pinnacle of health. And so I don't know if 122/80 is the pinnacle of my health in terms of blood pressure, but you know, according to society's rules, I guess it is. So yeah, that is one element of what meditation has done for me. But I don't even know that it's the act of the meditation as much as it's the wisdom and knowledge that the meditation time has afforded me. The wisdom to know that it's not any one thing that I need to do. The wisdom and understanding that I am healthy. So are you. We all are. The only reason why we feel sick is because we believe we're sick or we believe we're not measuring up to some arbitrary definition of healthy. When you remember who you are and your divinity and your perfectness, you'll know that sickness is just a mirror back to you. It's your physical body mirroring back to you what you're believing inside and giving you a chance and an opportunity to say, why do I feel this way? What's going on? And it's always mirroring something that's going on within. So it's a communication. Sickness is nothing more than a communication tool from God, from your higher consciousness, from the universe, pointing you towards something you're ready to let go of, something that's out of alignment with your true self. Okay, is there any other message there? I feel like that's it. I would like to close for myself with a card because I haven't done a card in a while. I mean, I think whenever my last video was, I probably did a card, but I haven't done a video in a minute. So is there a deck that's speaking to me? Actually, I do think this tarot deck is speaking to me. Wild Reflections. Let's see if there's a card in here that can just summarize or help point us to maybe what it is we need to do next, what our next move is in terms of this spiritual healing, in terms of finding our inner peace, finding our inner wholeness, finding our remembering our wholeness so that we can remember we are perfectly healthy. What is it that we can take away from this video that will point us in the right direction? Oh, there it is. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. I really like this card. So you see all the pentacles around. There's so many, and she's sitting in abundance, and that is what we're ultimately going for. I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself, but I know that like in this life, what I want is an abundance of peace, an abundance of love, an abundance of joy, and all of that is at our fingertips. We have the ability to have everything we want. And for some people, if I say that and that feels a little uncomfortable for you, that might be the thing that it's time to explore. We can have everything we want, and that's what 9 of Pentacles is. This is the realization, the manifestation in the physical of all the things that she wants. But here's the thing. We get caught up sometimes on the physical things. I want the car, I want the house, I want the family, I want the bank account, I want the vacations, I want the physical freedom. But all of that is just mirroring what's going on in here. So the gratitude and joy frequency that I have been able to find through my meditative process, through that practice that I've been doing, that the fact that I can just find it now like that demonstrates that I'm truly embodying that frequency. And when you embody a frequency of gratitude, when you embody a frequency of joy, when you embody a frequency of abundance, it must reflect in your physical world. We spend all this time trying, getting into the grind of creating this exterior reality that we want, when all along the exterior reality just happens when we do our work in here. So shift the work in here, and it has to turn into, these pentacles are representative of all the abundance materializing in your physical reality. So when the abundance materializes in here, when the joy frequency is the dominant vibration in here, then it must it must bloom out here. And that's what you see here. So we're doing the work, folks. We're doing the work. We're heading in the right direction. And I think the big message here is allowing this to happen. We are the ones that get in our own way. The Nine of Pentacles is there for us when we do the work here. So focus, I think this comes back to the beginning of my message. Focus here, and then the outward has to reflect it, as opposed to like when I started recording these videos, it was initially about out there. And then my motivation got stifled. And it was because Spirit was showing me, no, focus here. Focus here. This will respond. Okay. Peace out. Love y'all.